بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. We are going to take the second items in which khums is obligated. So second items in which the khums is liable. So he says second al-ma'dan, al-thani al-ma'dan. Ma'dan is minerals. Now, so in chemistry, metals are two types. Metal which you can strike them and stretch them, like iron, gold, you strike them, you can flatten them, make them longer. The more you hit, the more they can be flattened. And there are non-metals such as sulfur, sodium, and these things which you cannot stretch them, breaks down. These are, they become powder. Anyhow, in Sharia, metal, the ma'dan doesn't mean metal. Ma'dan means minerals. The rocks which are taken out, different types of rocks and stones which are taken out from the ground. These rocks and stones and all these things, they have different values. Like you get a rock which has iron in it. You get a rock which has gold in it, or you get a gold rock by itself. Then you melt it down, and lead and all these kind of things. So here he talks about, let's see what is ma'dan here. So al-ma'dan, كالذهب, such as gold, wal-fidda, silver, wal-risas, lead, wal-nahas, copper, wal-aqiq. Aqiq is I don't know, it's apgate or gate or something like that, or jade. I know because I used to have a book of gemstones. So there is a name for it. Now I don't remember, but inshallah in the slides we need to write the proper name for it. Wal-aqiq, wal-fayruzaj, turquoise. And aqiq is aqiq, we can also say aqiq. Yaqut, ruby, wal-kahal. Kahal is the material, jade. Okay, aqiq is jade. Okay, aqiq is jade. Wal kahal is the eyeliner. But we are talking about the material of the eyeliner, the mascara. The eyeliner, the material. I think the material, if I am not mistaken, is called collyrium or collyrium, something like that. But I'll have to double check it. So the material for the making eyeliner. Milh, salt. Like salt is not a metal in chemistry, but here ma'dan. So this ma'dan is not a metal here, ma'dan is minerals. Wal-qir, qir with the qaf. With the qaf. If you say with the qaf, the Persians will slap you, because it's a bad word in Persian with the qaf. So qaf, wal-qir. Qir is from qar. Qar is from zift, that tar, the tar which is kept on the street, asphalt or tar. Al-qir, wal-nift, oil, like petrol and all those things. Wal-kibrit, sulfur, wa-nahwiha, sulfur, which is mineral but not a metal. Wal-ahwat wujuban, on the basis of obligatory precaution, ilhaq gypsum. Nura is a kind of material which was used for removal of the hair, unwanted, undesired hair from the body. Huh? It was there. Yeah, in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Like near removal of the hair. There's so many nowadays. Okay, so those days they did not have Near and all this, so they had this Noora. So they put on the body, I don't know how they use it, God knows better, but it removes the hair. So it's a material which removes, but it is found in the ground. It's type of material, mineral. وَنَحْوِهَمَا بِمَا تَقَدَّمْ. He said, I have a problem, أحوط وجوبا, because there may be a riwayat says al-jis wa noora, gypsum and this noora as well. But he says I have a problem in including them with the minerals, which the khums is obligatory. Why? Because there may be a riwayah indicating just gypsum and noora, but that riwayah might not be that strong. Ulamas previously might have included. He says, to me it's problematic. Well, ahwat wujuban, and on the basis of obligatory precaution, ilhaq al-jis wa noora, we will include gypsum and noora in this category. So he has a problem in including them as a fatwa, because the evidence is not that strong. But he doesn't want to let it go. That means there is a little bit strength or some kind of strength. So we said in our session of taqleed, whenever the marja has evidences but these evidences are not strong, he cannot give a fatwa. So he has a problem saying that including gypsum and noora. But he says, I don't want to let it go also. So if you are collecting from the ground gypsum and noora, then you have to pay the khums of it on the basis of obligatory precaution. وَالْأَحْوَطُ وُجُوبًا, and on the basis of obligatory precaution. وَالْأَحْوَطُ وُجُوبًا, on the basis of obligatory precaution, gypsum and noora should be included in the ruling of the mineral, بما تقدم, with whatever have been mentioned. وَالْمُخْتَارِ, his mukhtar means our option, our opinion, ikhtiyar. This is like a general opinion. This is a general opinion. Sayyidi Sistani says that in my opinion, وَالْمُخْتَارِ أَنَّ الْمَعْدَنِ مِنَ الْأَنْفَالِ, the minerals are from the spoils of war or gains of war. That means if you gain a land, then it is part of that land. It doesn't have an independent khums. So if you buy a land and you find in it mineral, then it is not from the, if it's not anfal, then khums is not obligatory on it. وَالْمُخْتَارِ أَنَّ الْمَعْدَنِ, and our selection in this, our opinion in this rule is that the mineral are from the spoils. وَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ أَرْضُهُ مِنْهَا, even if the land of these minerals were not from the spoils, Like for example, there was a war and you gained the land. Now these are stored in areas, storages, and these have been imported from somewhere else, not from that land. So he says that even these are from not that land, they are considered spoils of war or gains of war or booties of war. Okay? Ghanima. من الأنفال وإن لم تكن أرضه منها ولكن يثبت الخمس في المستخرج منه. But extraction. So when you extract these minerals from the ground, the khums is obligated on. ويكون الباقي للمخرج. And after giving the khums, the remaining of the extracts of these minerals will be for the person who has taken it out, who has extracted it, على تفصيل سيأتي إن شاء الله تعالى, with details which are going to come forth. Ruling number 1191. يشترط في وجوب الخمس في المعدن النصاب. The quorum is what? Specific amount, specific number. Quorum. You don't have a meeting. We have a general body meeting. They say, is the quorum there or not? Or any meeting, 2/3 of the community members needs to be. That's a quorum. Nisab. So nisab is the amount specified. So if you reach that amount, then only khums will obligatory on. If you do not reach that amount, khums is not wajib on the ma'dan, the mineral. So it says the condition of obligation of khums in the minerals is the quorum, or reaching the specific amount. يشترط في وجوب الخمس في المعدن النصاب. And what is it? وهو قيمة 15 مثقالا صيرفيا من الذهب المسكوب. And that is the value of 15 mithqal sayrafi, 15 weight of sayrafi, weight with the type of sayrafi, from the minted gold. So if we have 15, that instead of gram, it is called mithqal sayrafi. Gram is nowadays. Before they used to have a different way to measure weights. So this is a weight which is called mithqal sayrafi. So if it reaches 15 mithqal sayrafi, minted gold, you put minted gold and the wazn becomes 15 mithqal sayrafi, then that is 15 mithqal sayrafi. We said how much is it approximately? Alaikum salam, yesterday 52.5 something, because it's about 3.5. سواء كان المعدن ذهبا, it doesn't matter whether the mineral was that it has to reach this quorum, this specific amount. سواء كان المعدن ذهبا, whether this mineral was gold, أو فضة أم فضة, or it was silver, أم غير أو غيرهما, or it was other than these two. فإذا كانت قيمته أقل من ذلك, therefore if the value of the gathered mineral or extracted mineral was less than this amount, لا يجب الخمس فيه, khums will not be obligated in it. بعنوان المعدن, with the title of mineral, because this is, we said there are 7 titles, for the khums. So this is second one. So what does he mean by it will not be under this title of mineral? Yeah, you'll be paying it as mineral, you will not pay. But there might be other obligations which might make you pay the khums of it, such as excessive at the end of the year, which is going to come later on. Like let's say you have this, you did not use it, you did not sell it, it's lying there in your store. Though the nisab is not there, there's no khums of ma'dan, khums of mineral. But now at the end of the year, you will have to pay the khums of the excess of the end of the year, excessive provision of the end of the year. Za'id ma'unat sana. So therefore, he says if it was less than less than the specific amount or quorum, la yajibul khumsu fihi, khums will not be obligated on it under the title of mineral. تحت فيه بعنوان المعدن وإنما يدخل في أرباح السنة, but it goes under the benefits of the annual benefits. So annual benefits, if it stays there at the end of the year, then you have to pay the khums of its value. والمعتبر بلوغه المقدار المذكور في حال الإخراج. Okay, now the question is, I extracted this amount. Okay, now I'm going to, the value is above 15 gram mithqal, but I have to pay to the fundi workers, I have to pay to the government tax, I have to pay this, I have to pay that, I have to pay to the hammal and everything, carrier and truck and all this kind of thing. So if I pay off these people, it will be less than 15 mithqal. So am I obligated to pay the khums because initial weight was above 15? Or am I not obligated to pay khums because after taking out the expenses of extraction, the value has gone down? The land which you buy, if you buy it to live in it, and you build it in 1 year, or you try your best to build it as soon as possible, then there is no khums on that land and whatever is built. But if you are negligent in your building in a way that it exceeded 1 year, then all what you bought, paid, build, there will be khums on it, because you did not use it in your year of purchase or year of ownership. Yeah, so if it is just for the future, then you have to pay. Yes, I mean, if there are minerals and their value, if they are more than 15 mithqal, then you have to pay khums initially, after taking the expenses out, expenses of extraction. But if they are less, then you don't have to pay the khums. But at the end of the year, if they are still there in your possession, then you will have to pay the khums of it. Okay, there's another mas'ala. You bought the land to extract minerals out of it. So you bought the land for business. Yes, but no, you are not using it for personal living. You're using it for your business. So that is another section. Whatever you purchase for business, you have to pay the khums of that if the total capital was above your annual expenses. If your annual expenses are like, let's say, $60,000, and the total capital is $100,000, so $60,000 will be exempt, no khums on it. $40,000 you have to pay the khums of it. Why? Because these $60,000, you don't have any other resource. You had got this money from somewhere here, there. Instead of using it on your own family, you invested it in this business. So we will say 60,000, these are exempt, no khums on it. But if it was more than 60,000, then the extra part, business, you have to pay the khums of it before you start the business. Before you start the business. Business issue is very tough. Like before you start any business, you have to pay the khums of the capital. Unless if the amount of that capital was equal to your annual expenses, then you don't have to pay the khums of it. If it was over your annual expenses, then you have to pay the khums of the over. Okay? So here he says that should we والمعتبر بلوغ المقدار المذكور في حال الإخراج بعد استثناء مؤونته دون مؤونة التصفية. Okay, now we have two kinds of expenses here. Expense of extraction, taking it out, and then expenses of categorizing it, classifying it. This is daraja ula, number 1. This is number 2. Then, like I was looking at this olive oil extraction procedure, because I wanted to know whether we are drinking virgin oil or the third class or the last grade. So what they do is they bring this olives, this what they say, pits on olives. So they make the oil out of it. So when they squeeze it, the oil comes out. So the first has special characteristics, first extraction of olive. That is called grade 1. That is the virgin, the beginning oil. Then there's a second batch comes out, which is lesser in nutrition values than the first one. So that is also has second grade. And then the last, whatever remaining is, comes out. It has very less nutrition values. So sometimes, now everybody writes virgin oil, from virgin oil. That means everybody writes. So now that's why you have to buy it from the company which is properly supervised and authenticated by their system. Otherwise, everybody writes virgin oil and you might not get benefit of that true, because true olive oil is very good, the first and second grade for the heart. For the stomach, it's very healthy and it's very expensive, that first grade. So anyhow, so let's say this classification of the ma'dan, when you took all the ma'dan out, now you are going to separate them. Either separate them by grades, all was gold, but this is good quality. This is the, like aqiq, they do aqiq and all this. They take out best qualities and then they assort it out. So it could be either assortment of grade or either assortment of the types, because they took out, now there is Firuza, there is Aqiq, there is this, there is lead, there are so many things. So Sayyidi Sistani says the expenses which are exempt from khums are the expenses before the assortion, before classifying them, before grading them, before the grading, before the tasfiyah. Tasfiyah means, sifting it. Like you have this sift, you put dal in it or dough in it and you sift it, and the small those small bugs, they remain in the sift, sift. So this, he said, so the khums is exempt from the amount paid for the extraction, but this tasfiyah, this grading, no. The grading, so you pay the khums and then grade. Pay the khums, then grade. But all those amounts, you can give it, the tax, the labor, all the amount, expenses of extraction, you can take it out before paying khums. Okay? So amount paid for extraction is exempt. You can pay off before paying khums. Amount of grading it is not exempt. Is not exempt. So after you pay the khums, then you grade the thing. I mean, there are people that are smart, because it's by wazn. Doesn't matter. See, there's gold, there's silver, there's everything. You put it, if it's 15 mithqal, okay, the weight of gold, then it's by wazn. You put all the mixture on this thing and you see it's above 15, or like after washing it. Yeah, I mean, you have to pay 20% of it. 20% of the value. Yeah, you have an option. You can pay 20% of, but don't choose like the cheap. Just, that 20%, the whole value. How much is the whole value of this? The people. Now, so that's why he said that the exemption part is after, like before grading it. After grading it, no. So you pay the khums and then grade it. Let me read it again so it becomes clear. وَالْمُعْتَبَرْ بُلُوغُهُ الْمِقْدَارَ الْمَذْكُورِ The condition which is required in reaching that amount mentioned, which is the quorum, nisab, في حال الإخراج, which is the during the extraction, بعد استثناء مؤونته, after exempting the expenses spent on this extraction, دون مؤونة التصفية, without the expenses of grading it, without the expenses of grading it. فإذا كانت قيمته أقل من ذلك, therefore if the نعم إنما يجب إخراج الخمس من الباقي بعد استثناء مؤونة التصفية وسائر المؤن الأخرى. But the wajib is إنما يجب إخراج الخمس من الباقي بعد استثناء مؤونة التصفية وسائر المؤن الأخرى. So here, see, the grading is not exempt, but he says when you pay the khums is paid after grading it. After grading it and after. So he says that, naam, yes, innama yajibu ikhraj al-khums, the obligation to pay the khums from the remaining بعد استثناء مؤونة التصفية, after exempting. Now let me see, why did he use this thing وسائر المؤن الأخرى. نعم إنما يجب إخراج الخمس من الباقي بعد استثناء مؤونة التصفية وسائر المؤن الأخرى. Yes, so the khums will be paid after grading it. You don't give khums with all that mixed up, you know. You pay the khums after you define the value of everything. So if the total value is equal to 15 mithqal, then you pay the khums. But then you will have to pay from each section 20%. Like from the gold 20%, from the silver 20%, from this 20%. You know, you cannot pay the silver 20% for gold and for all this. So if there are grades, grade A, grade B, grade C. So grade A was 20 grams, grade B was 50 grams. So you will pay from grade A 20% because the total is above the quorum. So because that's how it will be balanced. Otherwise it will be cheating or something like that. You know, you just pay the...
Very great money. You get from every grade you pay.
Yeah.
You can have the value of everything and then pay 20%.
Yeah, this grade, or this item, you know, so each, as long as the total is above. So the khums is paid after taking out all the expenses. But expenses of grading is not exempt. Expenses of grading is not exempt. But payment of the khums is after taking out after the grading. After taking out the expenses of grading and everything. إذا أخرج المعدن, ruling number 1192. إذا أخرج المعدن دفعات. Let's say he takes out the minerals gradually. كفى بلوغ المجموع النصاب. It will be sufficient to reach the quorum. It will the entire amount, the entire total taken out will be sufficient to reach the quorum. Like you cannot say, oh no, today it did not reach the quorum. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, like until the procedure ends from A to B. Now you are done, because you don't stay all the way there. You know, even your workers, there are times you go and take them and then you get and then you come out. So if you have 3 days to spend there, in these 3 days you extracted the quorum, you will pay khums. If in these 3 days you did not extract the quorum, there will be no khums on it. So the thing is that the gradual, it depends. Yes, if you take out 3 days and then you took it and you went it to the market and then you came after 1 week. And you started and stayed for 3 days. Now, is this considered gradual? He said no, because this is a new procedure. That was old procedure. This was a new effort. You see? So it can be, it depends on common consideration. It depends on common consideration. Maybe in some places, like in 3 days, every weekend you come. Okay? Every weekend you come, you collect and keep it a pile, and then come back next weekend and come back next weekend, because you have only weekend time. So this is considered gradual and not discontinued, you know, not like intermittent, like this is done, this is done, it's gradual.
So from these 3 days you take out, 2 days, 3 days you take out khums?
No, if you take out and you go and sell and you finish this thing, that urf might not consider this connected with next week. Okay? But if you keep it piled here or in your house, and then you go next weekend and you come and store again, and then you start grading and all those things. So this is, urfan might consider it same extraction but done in gradual, not discontinued. If gradually collected okay, gradually collected, they reach the quorum, khums will be wajibun. If does not reach the quorum, khums will not be wajibun.
All finished together.
Yeah, entire, if it's gradual. إذا أخرج المعدن إذا أخرج دفعات, if he took out the minerals or if he take out the minerals gradually, كفى ببلوغ النصاب, it will be sufficient. This gradual collection will be sufficient to reach the quorum. وإن أعرض في الأثناء ثم رجع, even if he abandoned the procedure of extraction and then he came back. نعم, yes. إذا أهمله فترة طويلة, if he left this procedure or process of extraction, if he left it, if he abandoned it for longer period of time, ولو لمانع خارجي, even if there was an external circumstances or external preventing circumstances, لم يعد عرفا عاملا في المعدن بحيث, in a way that he is not considered somebody who's working on extracting the minerals. لا يضم اللاحق إلى السابق. In this way, the past collected or extracted will not be combined or combined with the collected later. So whatever was collected previously will not be combined later on. Okay? So this is like a kind of the orphan. بحيث, in bracket he says بحيث لم يعد عرفا عاملا في المعدن. In urf, in this intermittent period, he is not considered, he is discontinued, and now he came and he started the new batch. Ruling number 1193. إذا اشترك جماعة في الإخراج ولم يبلغ حصة كل واحد منهما النصاب لم يجب الخمس فيه وإن بلغ المجموع نصابا. Let's say group of people, they went extracting. Group. Let's say Sheikh Ratansi has a land, okay, and he wants to, the Mu'mineen to, because he asked example now, inshallah. Took the Hausa group, all, Sheikh Mahdi, Sheikh Asnan, Sheikh Shakir, Sheikh Muntaz, all of them, aao aaje, tomorrow treat se. Every day little kidogo comes out. When this group came, the giants of the Hausa, the barakati came out, the blessing came out, it became loaded. Kya thi nikliyo? Dar roz to nathi nikarto. Every day it doesn't come out. From where did it come out today? So spiritual energy came. So what happens here? So what should we consider? The whole thing reached the quorum. We will say no. Here we will see how much is the share of each. Share of each individual needs to reach the quorum to pay the khums. Not the total. Not the total. So he said, إذا اشترك جماعة في الإخراج. If there was a group, they shared with each other the procedure of extraction, or they shared with each other to take out the minerals from the ground. ولم يبلغ حصة كل واحد منهم النصاب. But the share of each individual did not reach the quorum. لم يجب الخمس فيه. Khums will, لم يجب الخمس فيه. Khums will not be obligated in it. وإن بلغ المجموع نصابا. Even if the total had reached the quorum. Ruling number 1194, and we'll end with this ruling. Ruling number 1194, and then after that he will talk about the treasure. He says, previously we mentioned that the minerals are from the spoils. Where did he say? Na'am wal Mukhtar, in his opinion. In his opinion, أن المعدن من الأنفال. Minerals are from the spoils, booties of war or gains of war. So he says, ruling number 1194, قد مر, as mentioned previously, in the beginning he mentioned, أن المعدن مطلقا من الأنفال. The minerals are absolutely from the spoils of war. or from the spoils. إلا أنه إذا لم يكن ظاهرا فهو على ثلاثة أقسام. But if it was not on the surface, then it is of three types. When the war happens, people, they take all the land, so there are minerals collected. So these minerals, they say, it's from the Anfal. So we don't have the separate khums for it. From the Ghanima. Remember the Ghanima, we mentioned that there are ulamas, they consider for Ghanima 15 mithqal. Sayyid Sistani said no. But here in Ma'dan, he says that it is from the Anfal, from the spoils. And this condition is required. This condition is required. But he says this is if it was on the surface, if it was obvious. إِذَا كَانَ ظَاهِرًا. But if it was not on the surface, إِلَّا أَنَّهُ, if it was on the surface, then it's spoiled. If it was not on the surface, إِذَا لَمْ يَكُنْ ظَاهِرًا فَهُوَ عَلَى ثَلَاثَةِ أَقْسَامٍ. Then it is of three types. It is of three types. Type number one, okay, ما إذا كان في الأرض المملوكة أو ما يلحقها حكما. والمشهور بين الفقهاء رضي الله عنهم أنه حينئذ ملك لمالك الأرض، فإن أخرجه غيره بدون إذنه فهو لمالكها وعليه الخمس. ولكن هذا غير خال عن الإشكال، فالأحوط لزوما لهما التراضي بصلح أو نحوه، فإن لم يتراضيا فليراجع الحاكم الشرعي في حسم النزاع بينهما. Now here he says that like if you take over a land, of course in a war or something like that, and the mineral was not obvious on surface, it was not zahir, it was in batin. So this person who took the land, he will extract it from inside the ground. So now what happens here? This land is a private land. If it is a private land, then there is an owner for it. If there's an owner for it, this guy says, but I took it out. That guy says, I am the owner, so it's mine. This guy says, no, it's mine because I took it out. So there's a dispute. So he says that in this dispute, they have to go to the religious authority and sort it out. Sort it out or make a sulh. Make a sulh. So I'm going to read this in English. So number one, the case where it is not ظاهر. ما إذا كان في الأرض المملوكة. He said قد مر أن المعدن مطلقا من الأنفال. These are spoils. That means, what does that mean? Why does he say that the ma'dan is from the spoils? What was the ruling of the spoils? They do not belong to individuals. They do not belong to individuals. They belong to the government. The imam. Okay? That imam decides how to distribute. You cannot say, no, I took it out. That means it's mine. Like for example, oil. In many countries, these oil lands, oil owners are big, rich people. And this energy especially, the energy, if few rich people, they own it, then we have this poor and rich people, because these are very rich. Poor, they are not getting from the oil unless they have to buy for it, and they are controlling the price of the energy. So there is a kind of problem. So some of the ulama, they say whenever there are things which are in a land, they belong to all the Muslims. Like how Ghanima, it belongs to all the Muslims. Ghanima. So if you go somewhere and extract the ma'dan, you found out some in Bagamoyo or in Karyako or Mariako or somewhere that there is ma'dan, so that ma'dan is not to be taken private property, private ownership. Huh? Yeah, so here he says that, see, what did he say? We have to go to the thing. He says, al-ma'dan, minerals, such as gold and this, wal-ahwatu jumad. He said that this is, ulamas, they said, the first segment, ulamas, they said that there's khums on it. Okay? Khums of the extraction of minerals. Sayyidi Sistan says, wal-mukhtar annal ma'dan min al-anfal. The minerals are from the spoils. Even if it was not from the land of spoils. Even if it was not from the land of spoil. If it was from land of spoil, it's understood, it has to be spoil.
But if there was no any war at all, then how will it be?
I'm coming to that. So for Sayyidi Sistani, wal mukhtar anna al ma'dan min al anfal. The minerals are from the spoils. That means a person cannot have individual right until the government gives, or like Imam Masoom or the infallible Imam gives that kind of thing. Like we mentioned in the issues of ghanima, distribution of it's for all the Muslims. وَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ أَرْضُهُ مِنْهَا. Even if this was not from the land of Anfal. وَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ أَرْضُهُ minha. Earth which was taken out is not from the Anfal, but this taken out becomes Anfal, becomes for the Muslims. So here we have this is connected to that mas'ala. He says, قَدْ مَرَّ أَنَّ الْمَعْدَنْ مُطْلَقًا مِنَ الْأَنفَالِ. We said that the ma'dan, the minerals, are absolutely from the spoils. إِلَّا أَنَّهُ, except إِذَا لَمْ يَكُنْ ظَاهِرًا, if it was not out and required extraction, then whatever is out, it is from the anfal. Like the salt, it is out. Their stones, gemstones, they are out. Some of the things, it requires efforts and extraction, like oil. Okay? So let's say these things are floating. They are from the anfal, I mean on the surface of the earth. But what if there was in the ground? Which he says in the ground, 3 types. Number 1, ma idha kan fil ardil mamluka. I did not explain this properly. This is not related to war. We said in general, absolutely, whether war, no war, these anfals are. So if Ratansi has a land and it has, then we have to go to the marja and say that we found out this, so now what should we do? Land tamaro che. Lekin he says, Sayyidi Sistani, that those treasures are not for you. Yeah. Yeah. Look, let's complete the sentence. He says, Ma idha kan fil ardil mamluka. If it was on a privately owned property, not government property. Aw ma yalhaquha hukman, or something similar to it in ruling. Like in parenthesis, hired land. You hired a land and you wanted to do some camping and trip for like 1 month project, and then you were digging and you found out this mineral. Okay? So now what? Wal mashhur bain al fuqaha, the popular opinion of the scholars, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless their souls. Annahu hina idhin mulkun li malik al ard. It is the property of the owner of the land. Owner of the land. So if the owner takes out, it's his. If the hirer takes, if the person who has taken on lease, then it's whose? The owner. So the owner has, this is popular opinion. فَإِنْ أَخْرَجَهُ غَيْرَهُ بِدُونِ إِذْنِهِ. Okay, he's still mentioning the opinion of the majority, popular opinion. فَإِنْ أَخْرَجَهُ. Therefore, if someone other than the owner extracted it, بِدُونِ إِذْنِهِ, without his permission, فَهُوَ لِمَالِكِهَا وَعَلَيْهِ الْخُمْسِ. Then it will be for the owner of the land, and he has to pay the khums of it. Okay, let's say Sheikh Shakir trespassed in the land of Ratansi, and then he took out these extractions. Now what will happen here? So he has to give it to him, and then Ratansi will have to pay the khums of it. This is the popular opinion he's mentioning, just to distinguish his opinion. ولكن, but هذا غير خال عن الإشكال. This is not free from problem, this opinion which is of the fuqaha, mashhur opinion. I have a problem with this, he says. So what should we do? Obligatory precaution. Ishkal means problematic issue. فَالْأَحْوَطْ لُزُومًا لَهُمَا. On the basis of obligatory precaution for these two, the one who extracted and the owner. Because it's not owners to say this Sistani, it is Muslims. He as a Muslim took out this from his land. Though he did not use permission, is gunahgar, he has committed a sin. But some fuqaha might say it's his share. Some fuqaha say no, it is his. Sayyidi Sistani says it is his, I have problem, because this is from the anfal. So what should we do? He is from a Muslim. He came and he dug, and without his permission, so he got this mineral. So here he says, on the basis of obligatory precaution, they have to do reconciliation. Luzuma at-taradi, they have to please each other, or do the reconciliation. Bisulhin, they have to be pleased with each other. Taradi bisulhin, either through reconciliation or nahwa. Okay, Sheikh Shakir says, okay, thoda paisa le le, or maaf kar de. Take this little bit amount. Okay, that's fine. You can go. It's okay. There's no problem. No hard feeling. Something like that. فَإِن لَمْ يَتَرَاضَيَا. But if they do not try to solve it, and the conflict becomes locked, فَلْيُرَاجِعَ الْحَاكِمِ الشَّرْعِي فِي حَسْمِ النِّزَاعِ بَيْنَهُمَا. Then they both have to refer to the religious authority to solve the dispute between them. This is if it was found in a land which is owned, privately owned land. Number 2, what if ما إذا كان في الأرض المفتوح عنوة? If it was in a land which was conquered by Muslim. Remember yesterday we mentioned that these people, they invaded your land. So you pushed them back. When you pushed them back, they started running away. You started getting over their land, because it's a war. This is land of booty. In war, whatever the enemies they leave, it becomes yours. So they're leaving their land and running away. So the Muslims, they are taking over this land. Okay? So like in Palestine, when the Roman armies were running away, the Muslims were going inside, until they took over Palestine. So because the Roman army had invaded Islamic territory, they had invaded Arabian Peninsula, they had arrived to a place which is called Tabuk. Okay? Then they retreated, but they were still in the lands of Arabia. So the Muslims, they pushed them back. They started to retreat, and what happened? The Arabs who were living in Syria, and they preferred Arabs ruling them rather than Roman Empire ruling them. So they started from behind helping the Muslims. So the Roman armies were sandwiched. So that's how the Palestine and Syria, these places were freed from the occupation of Roman army.
So it's the battle of Tabuk.
No, Tabuk, there was no battle happened. Expedition. What happened? Mu'ta is in Jordan. So Jordan was like the edge of Muslim territories. They had penetrated Mu'tah, because they were in Palestine. They crossed Palestine and they came into Jordan, and they are marching towards Muslims. So the Prophet sent Ja'far al-Tayyar, Abdullah bin Rawaha, and Zayd bin Haritha, and they were martyred. Zayd bin Haritha did a cowardly, Khalid bin Walid did a cowardly movement. He brought them back, retreated. So this gave the Roman image that the Muslims are coward, because those three which the Prophet chose, they died there. So that was freaking the Romans out. Oh my goodness, these are not giving up. But Khalid gave up. They say a tactical retreat. So they marched further inside the Arabian. They came to Tabuk. Tabuk is north of Medina. That was a big danger. So here the Prophet ﷺ came by the whole army and left Imam Ali in Medina. In case if Prophet is martyred, everybody is martyred, then Imam Ali will take care of the women and them and find a safe route for them. So when they reached Tabuk, the Romans, they saw, oh my goodness, these people, they are coming in the hot summer and they're used to cold land. So they retreated. So the Muslims, they came back. After that, the Roman came back again. That's when the Prophet was dying, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Prophet was pushing that Usama bin Zayd's army go forth, and there were some companions, they didn't want to go, and the Prophet cursed them. So therefore, that was the time where the war happened after the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they started chasing them behind, and the Arabs in the land of Palestine and Syria, they saw that the Muslims are coming, and they kept hand with them, and the Roman were totally out of land of Arabia. No, that was the Roman were defeated, another defeat by Persia, because Roman and Persia, they had also problems. So then Persian, they attacked Roman, because Iraq has been like a ping pong ball, sometimes in the hand of Persia, sometimes in the hand of Iraq. So this time the Persian, they came very close to this Jordan river, in the Dead Sea, and there they were defeated by the Persian. So Alif Lam Mim Ghulibat al-Rum fi adna al-ard, from the lowest place of the land, and Dead Sea is the lowest land on the earth. Dead Sea, it's below the sea level. So this was Prophet told before even this happened. So they were defeated by the Persians in that place, particularly in the lower place of land. He said, so if the land was conquested, but like we said, this mineral which is inside has three: either it's on a private property, either it was in a conquested land which is gained by conquest of the Muslims, then it is the property of the Muslims, all of them in general, like every single Muslim shares without any specification. You cannot say you all are Muslims. So whatever is taken out is distributed to the Muslims. ما إذا كان, we said, التي هي ملك للمسلمين. ما إذا كان في الأرض. But second one, whether if the mineral was in the land which was gained by conquest of the Muslims, مفتوح عنوة التي هي ملك للمسلمين, which is the land of the Muslims, من دون أن يكون لشخص معين حق فيها, without any specific person possesses a specific right on it. So what will happen in this case? والواجب, the land which is for entire Muslim, the land which is for, what happens here? So if it was in the land which is gained by conquest, and which is the land of the entire Muslims, without any specific rights for any specific person in it, al-wajib hina idhin, then the obligation in this case is seek permission to extract it from the Imam alayhi salam or his successor. his successor, the religious authority. وَالْوَاجِبُ حِينَئِذٍ, and then in this case it is obligatory to seek the permission from the imam, استخراج من الإمام أو نائبه, or his successor, his representative. فإذا استخرجه بإذنه ملكه وعليه الخمس. So if he takes it out with the permission of the imam, فإذا استخرجه, therefore if he takes it out with his permission, then he will be owning it. بإذنه ملكه, then he will own it and he will have to pay the khums of it. The last one, the third, ما إذا كان في الأراضي الأنفال, if it was from the gains or booties of war. ولا حاجة, spoils. ولا حاجة حينئذ إلى الاستئذان في استخراجه. In this case, it is not, if it was from the land which was spoils, that means the first one was the conquested land. This one, no. The land was like houses and all these kind of things. He says, if the land was the land of spoil, then there is no need in its extraction to seek the permission of the imam. Like to seek the permission in general. He doesn't say imam. It is understood imam, or because the previous ruling said imam or his representative. ما إذا كان في الأراضي الأنفال, if the minerals were inside in the land of the spoils, then in this case there is no requirement for seeking permission to extract it. في استخراجه بل هو جائز لجميع المؤمنين. It is permissible for all the believers. لولا طروع عنوان ثانوي يقتضي المنع عنه, unless if this any secondary title encounters it which prevents the general permission, which prevents them from extracting it. Therefore فإذا استخرجه أحد, therefore if somebody extracts minerals from it, وجب فيه الخمس, khums will be obligatory on it. ويكون الباقي له, and the remaining, the 80%, the remaining will be for him. He pays the khums, 80% is for him. And the previous one was ويكون الباقي له فإذا بإذن ملك بإذن ملكه وعليه الخمس. The second one was also same. The first one was to reconciliate. Okay. Last he says 1195. Now it's istishab masala. Remember istishab. Yaqeen, you doubt. So you will take the yaqeen. Yaqinan, like the water, you know it's full tank. Now you don't know that it become less than kur or not. You will consider it kur. You know it was full. Now you don't use. Did it go below kur or not? You will consider it kur, yaqeen. Let's say the tank was below kur and the water is getting inside. You don't know, did it reach kur or not? You will consider it below. Istishab, previous yaqeen. I know it was not kur. I know it was not kur. Did it reach kur or not? See, doubt. Did it or not? So we will say keep the doubt aside, take the yaqeen.
Because first was yaqeen.
Yes, we always take the yaqeen and we ignore the doubt.
Once the first opinion was of yaqeen.
Yes. So first thing was yaqeen. In both examples, if it was full, I doubt. Did it come down or not? We'll say it's still full. If it was less, I doubt. Did it reach kur or not? It's still not kur, unless you find out, unless you have yaqeen. So yaqeen only can destroy that yaqeen. Doubt does not. So here, I don't know, did it reach nisab or not? You will consider it the quorum. You extracted. Now this much extraction is not quorum. And you kept extracting. Now you are doubting. Did it reach the quorum or not? In this case? It did not. Because it was not quorum in the beginning. So now you are doubting. So you need to. So this is the mas'ala. Ruling number 1195. إِذَا شَكَّ فِي بُلُوغِ الْمَعْدَنِ النِّصَابِ. If he doubts that whether the minerals have reached the quorum or the specific amount, فَالْأَحْوَطُ وُجُوبًا, then it is obligatory precaution on him to examine it with whatever possibility or the capacity he possesses. اختبار مع الإمكان, whatever capacity. He has to try his best to measure. وَمَا عَدَمِهِ, but if it doesn't, he cannot examine, he cannot verify, if he cannot verify that it reached quorum or not, لا وَمَا عَدَمِهِ, and in the if it was not able to verify, لا يجب عليه الخمس, khums will not be obligated on him. وكذا إذا اختبره فلم يتبين له شيء, and even the same ruling applies if he examined but he was not able to properly find out whether it is quorum or not. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل